Todd Gurley. I know it's ridiculous, but Todd Gurley's cheap. You could get Todd Gurley for $2-3 million, I would think. He also went to college with Justin Houston, Georgia Bulldog. You could bring them both. And we mentioned the production that Justin Houston brings. He's just guaranteed 8 sacks. He brings you the production. You want to pay for that. Well, the thing about Todd Gurley, he's not explosive anymore. You're not going to run your offense through him. He's not going to bring you down the field. But this guy has 79 touchdowns in 6 seasons. He had 9 last season. He is a good red zone running back. He's a good rotational goal line back who can catch the ball too. A lot like Jeff Wilson Jr. He's a nice replacement for Jeff Wilson Jr. I don't think the Niners have a replacement for Jeff Wilson Jr. in a 3-man rotation of Mostert, Sermon, and Gurley. I think complements each other and is relatively cheap. What do you think?
The first draft profile that I have ever written about draft candidate was Todd Gurley's draft profile. And I was really high on him. I really liked how he played back then when he was a Georgia Bulldog. And I'm still pretty high on him. But there is tremendous amount of talent in the 49ers running back corp. So I'm not necessarily thinking of Todd Gurley right now as a huge addition for this team. I think that Trey Sermon will be better at those things that Gurley is good at. So although I liked him, I'm not thinking of him right now as a great running back in the NFL, but I admitted that he is a great red zone target as a running back. And the other problem is that I have written down when he was drafted is I'm still not thinking of him as a guy who can catch passes. Great passes. He's not a necessarily great pass catcher as I see him. And Kyle Shanahan likes those type of running backs who are great at catching the ball. So these are my problems with Todd Gurley.
Those are very good problems. You know, the thing is, I think Trey Sermon's really good at catching the ball, and I think Mostert's a good receiver too. The thing with Trey Sermon, he profiles as a bigger back. He had 4 touchdowns last season. I mean, I'm not sure that that's his game. And I don't really like giving the ball to Mostert on the goal line, although he gives a good effort. The thing with Gurley is even though he's not the player he used to be, he's not explosive. I mean, here are his touchdown totals by season. Rookie, 10 touchdowns. 2016, 6 touchdowns. 2017, 19 touchdowns. 2018, 21 touchdowns. 2019, 14 touchdowns. 2020, 9 touchdowns. And the Niners have to replace touchdowns in their offense. Kittle has given them 14 touchdowns in 4 seasons. That's not really what he does. Ayuk will score. Debo should score. But Jordan Reed's gone. I think Jeff Wilson is gone for a while. He had 10 touchdowns last year. I think they need touchdowns. And this guy, Todd Gurley, he's $3 million. Yeah, he's got a messed up knee, but if he gives them 10 touchdowns this season for $3 million, that's money well spent. I mean, you'd only give him like maybe 100 carries tops. Rotation.
Well, I like the idea.
Rotation
somehow, but
at a price.
You are not necessarily paying $3 million for a rotational running back right now, when running back position is not as important as it was about 10 years ago. So if a running back for a lot less money can do the same, why don't they do that? Why we should sign Todd Gurley, who is not as explosive as he was. We all know that with aging, running backs are getting worse at acceleration. I'm concerned.
I'm concerned about the loss of Jeff Wilson Jr. I know a lot of people feel like whatever, like they have other running backs. All I know is Jeff Wilson Jr. is a hell of a goal line back, a hell of a receiver, and he scores touchdowns. I don't know what Trey Sermon's going to be in the NFL. I don't even know if he's going to be healthy. He missed an entire season in 2019. So I feel like if it's not Gurley, there are other guys you could add, but the Niners should, if they renegotiate Jimmy's deal and sign Justin Houston, there's more money to play with, is what I'm saying. They shouldn't just stop at Justin Houston. There's more money. It doesn't have to be Todd Gurley. It could be Alshon Jeffrey. It could be Golden Tate. There are players who have produced, who could continue to produce for the 49ers if they clear up some money. And I think they're a couple of moves away. If they sign a guy on offense and a guy on defense with the money they're currently overspending for Jimmy Garoppolo, now you're talking. Now you got a Super Bowl team. And I don't know if it's Gurley, but There could be, it could be Alshon Jeffrey. I just feel like Alshon Jeffrey's a little old, but so is Gurley. I don't know.
Sign
I don't know
Golden
who else.
Tate.
Golden Tate.
Tate is the
Bingo.
answer, in my
Bingo.
opinion.
There you go.
In my
There you
opinion.
go.
Yeah, about
you go.
Jeff Wilson. I was the guy who said that I do think before the season, before the injury, that Jeff Wilson is going to be the leading back for this team in rushing yards.
Yeah, I love Jeff Wilson.
I love him. I do think that we will miss him a lot. And we had problems in the past in the red zone with our red zone offense. And right now I do think that we will have problems without Jeff Wilson in the red zone. I'm concerned about that. And I still think that Golden Tate can help us out somehow with his experience because he can play as a possession receiver as well. And that's a position which is so underrated right now and that we don't have right now with the loss of Kendrick Bourne. So sign Golden Tate. I want Golden Tate to be a 49ers player. So
okay, so let's say the Niners renegotiate Jimmy, get him down to 10 million, keep him, sign Justin Houston, sign Golden Tate or Todd Gurley, whoever. How do you and the Niners stay healthy? How do you gauge their Super Bowl chances then?
About 30%, I think. Right now, it's about 5%, in my opinion, because there aren't so many holes, but there are holes that is going to be a problem on the long term, not on a short term, but on a long term, yes. So we will be in the playoffs, I'm pretty sure. But it's most likely because of our schedule and because of how many talent we have on the offensive side of the ball. But
I see it differently, man. If they can pull this off and bring in Justin Houston and a Golden Tate or Todd Gurley, I really think they'd have a team that could compete with Tampa in the NFC. I think if the Niners do that, renegotiate Jimmy, bring in two starters, a guy on offense, a guy on defense, and not even starters, but contributors, big-time producers. I think the NFC is between the Niners and Tampa. I think they've closed the gap. I mean, I don't know if anyone's going to beat Kansas City. You kind of need their entire offensive line to be hurt to beat Kansas City. They're that good. But in the NFC, I really look at it as Tampa and everyone else. And if the Niners could just add Justin Houston and one more guy, it would be Tampa, the 49ers, and everyone else. I think Justin Houston's that good. But so I think they're that close.